What is language and how is developed? The reason why I chose this picture is because for me it connects that it's a process. Like even when kids grow, you see that they change from a baby to a kid and then to a teenager. The reason why I like these essays is because maybe they don't know their language, maybe they don't know how to speak, and this pop in that are on top of their heads shows like they speak different type of languages that probably it's hard for them to communicate. So let's take a look to the language development. First of all, I would like to talk about what is language. And I read so many language definitions and I created my own. For me, language is a tool, a essential tool for human communication. It takes various forms such as writing, no writing, and or oral expression. And the primary purpose of language is to enhance the communication of ideas, desires, belief among individuals, and more. In this way, language becomes instrumental in fostering stronger connections and building meaningful relationships. So, language is everything. Without language, it will be hard that people understand others and express what they need, what they want, what they think. Language learning or linguistic, that's the other way that we call, study how we use language and how it works. It involves looking at the general and specific features of different languages. Learning in language helps us understand how people communicate around the world and notice differences between languages. Some languages are very descriptive, while others are not. We also learn interesting things like how some languages give gender to objects or talk about events happening by themselves without saying who did it. And this is something, it was something funny when I was watching different videos because I noticed that Italian and Spanish they give a specific gender to the objects when they talk about them. And even we also, in Spanish, we when we want to we want to talk about a situation or event that just happened, we don't mention the person who caused the event. We just talk about the object, and we actually explain what happened to the object. So that's a huge difference when you compare with English. With English, you are more specific, and you point to the person who caused the event or the accident. Linguistics is a study of language, and it has different parts that focus on different aspects of this complex phenomenon. These are the main branches of linguistics. Linguistics have many branches, but I consider these are the main ones. And if any person can learn them, they will learn how to communicate fluently in this new language. And the reason why I chose this picture is because this is a way that, for me, in kindergarten makes sense how are the different stages that we have to teach and explain to the student a new language. So we get focused first on phonetics, the studying classification of speech. Then, kind of at the same time, we're learning the the sounds of the letters, and we also get focused in the study of words and how they are formed. And in the case of syntax, we we understand how to arrange words and phrases. In semantics, we study the meaning and relationship of words. And pragmatics, the study of language in context. So all these are very important for any human to understand how they need to express well in a new language or in any language. Language teaching. Language teaching is when someone helps others learn a language. This involves teaching them how to speak, listen, read, and write in that language. The goal is to make sure they can communicate well in that language. Language teaching can happen in different places, like classrooms or more casual settings like parks, homes, coffee, etc. even in Paris. Teachers use various methods and materials to help learners understand and use the language better. The main aim is to empower individuals to use the language in real life situations. I even put myself in these past weeks using more Google Translate or dictionaries to learn how to communicate in another language, and also sometimes to translate and help my student to learn English. And it's incredible how after you start teaching the new language, you be aware of the different ways they have to pronounce the words and how they build the sentences in their mother tongue. These are the reference of some videos, websites, and blog I read and I watch. My favorite one was How Language Shapes Thoughts, because it's incredible how you can switch between languages, and how even the way that you express with your face when you're explaining a situation, or how sometimes we change the tone of our voices when we are using different languages.